viewers, welcome back to the South Main Auto Channel. It's gonna be a little noisy in the background because we got the fan on. It's the most quiet fan in the whole world, but when you make a video it sounds like this the whole time. You have to deal with it. It's sweaty. But right here we got a fresh one off the trailer. Another shop just brought it down, an 06 Ford Mustang. I imagine it's got the big V6 in it, whatever that is of this era. He told me that it quit on the guy driving down the road and now it does nothing. I see the dash lights up, the windows go up and down because I drove it off his, or rolled it off his trailer. It doesn't crank, it's got 3 pedals and a stick shift, no click, no nothing. He said he looked at it, can't figure it out. Doesn't believe it's a starter, which I would have to agree because if it quit going down the road, it's probably not the starter. So I thought I'd bring you guys along and we'll see what we have. There we go, she got 136,666 on the odometer. No wonder it quit. Oh, I guess this thing's not turned on. We're going to be using the brand new Altel MaxiSys Ultra, the Advanced Diagnostic and Measurement System. So we'll use that. We've got the dongle plugged in, which on this is also a VCI J2534 programmer, signal generator, which is wicked awesome, and your 4-channel scope. And it's your VCI, your vehicle communication interface for this little guy, so which isn't little, this thing is gigantic. So we'll go to diagnostics, we'll let it auto ID the VIN, see what this thing is, and see if we can get any more information as to why. I'll show you what it does. So it's in neutral. Oh, I do hear some clicking down there in the passenger side. I don't hear any clicking when I hold it in the start position though and cycle the pedal on the left. So that's some stuff that's worthy to note. Looks like, you know, we've got wipers, we've got bright headlights, blower motor, so it appears that we have power. I've got the power. So we'll let this go through. Radio, you know, everything in here seems to kind of function. Like I said, the windows go up and down. Alright, so 4.0 liter manual, California emissions. So it's got the big 4.0 in it. Altel in general is pretty slow to communicate with Ford. So I'll let this get going and I'll turn the camera back on once everything gets loaded up here. So not many modules on this old pig. Looks like we got a PCM, a GEM module, instrument cluster, and RCM, which I think is airbag. But we do have codes. We've got, looks like 6 codes total. So we're going to go to report. Let me roll my window here. I'll suffer for you guys. It's like 180,000 degrees out today. Let's scroll through here. See what we have. Fuel rail, pressure circuit high input, P1000. Left side repeater lamp, high mounted stop. So we got some, you know, body control stuff. Doesn't really matter. Fuel rail pressure sensor circuit high input. That's interesting. I don't know. And obviously somebody has cleared the codes because we have a P1000. I don't know if anything with that fuel rail pressure would make a no crank situation. So we're going to look at some live data here. Okay, that's all I can take it. You got to deal with the noise. So I'll let this get established. Okay, so we'll get this here. And I don't know if it's... Well, fuel rail pressure, unless this is some kind of substituted value, appears to be correct. Cycle the key. Yep, fuel pump just kicked on, so that pressure seems to be correct. Fuel rail pressure seems to be correct. You know, desired is 50 pounds. You can see when the pump cycles, like keys off, keys on, it just cycled, bumped it up to like 75. So not too concerned with that. What I will do, I'm going to go through, perhaps not on camera, and I'm just going to go through each data PID, see if there's anything weird. You know, anything that jumps out to me. If not, we're just going to start going through and do our normal routine on a, you know, no crank diagnosis. What the starter or any of that would have to do with a no crank. Hopefully it leads us in the right direction. So I went through all the data PIDs, nothing out of line. Everything looks good. We're not in an anti-theft lockout. I verified that the theft light does work. I can turn it on and off with a scan tool. That works. Nothing looks funky to me. The only thing that's kind of bizarre is the clutch pedal switch. Like right now it says depressed, but when I push it down it says not depressed. So here I'll show you. But I also, so right now the clutch is up. You know, I'm not pushing it, but when I push it, it says not depressed. So is that, you know, have anything to do with it? I would think if it was in the depressed mode, when it's up, it would crank, but it's not. So that is something we'll have to kind of keep in the back of our mind. That's the only thing, that's the only data PID that I seen that was a little bit wonky. But I've also seen on aftermarket scan tools where they don't interpret data quite correctly. So we're going to keep that up here in our noodle. And then one wicked awesome thing about the scan tools, watch this. You're like, oh, you want to do some split screen? You want to look at data and your scope at the same time, or your Google, and go to your service data, kaboom, you can do it. So that's kind of neat. And then you're like, oh, I want to be over here. You're like, boom, you go like that, like boom, boom, it's up there on the screen. So pretty handy. I'm going to look up the start circuit in a wiring diagram, and then we're going to take it from there, because that's the problem we have. It does not crank. Why? It's to be determined. Yeah, I love the sound of the air hammer. So I found us a diagram for the manual trans. Looks pretty simple. We got power coming in to this fuse through the clutch pedal switch, back around through a bus electrical center, and then to pin 85 on the relay. And then the start enable circuit from the PCM turns the other side of the relay on, closing this side, and then engaging the starter motor. So what I would say, we can either put the vehicle up on a lift and go right to the starter motor to see if we're getting any power down to where we need it, down to the actual starter itself. Or we could find this starter relay in this bus electrical center. I don't think the hyperlinks work on here. Maybe. There they go. Let's see. There's our bus electrical center. There's our starter relay. So if that's easy to get to, that's probably easier than putting it on a lift. So I say we do that. We find that. We go to the starter relay. We see what we're missing there, whether it's the control side or it's the power side or what it is. That's my suggestion. Must be somebody's been here. I found a chunk of a fuse laying there. So let's see. This appears to be our bus electrical center. Let's see, looks like our diagram matches. That must be the starter relay. Okay, everything else looks as it should. So we're gonna pull that little guy out. Let me get a relay jumper. Got the test light too. So this is just a relay jumper. All it does is allow it to come up out of the box and gives us our test ports on it. So 85, 86, 87, 88A, and 30. So we will stuff that back in there. Now it's a big 3-pin, you son of a hooski. I wonder if I got a different one. Lucky for you, I got a 4-pin too, huh? Same principle, just 4-pin. Usually a 4-pin relay has a 5-pin slot, but make damn sure the car is in neutral, and it is. I double checked, the key is on. So we're gonna come back here and hence. And let's see what we need. Pin 30, we should be hot, so let's get a ground here. Oh, looks like the grounds have already been cleaned up. I see fresh scuffy marks on those. Our light does work. So we're looking for pin number 30, which should be this one. Pin number 30. Am I right? I'm right, number 30. It's supposed to be hot, and it's not. That one is, though, 87. So that tells me right now that, what does that tell me? 87. That tells me that the relay diagram here is not correct on this. So let's just flip it around town. There we go. We got it going the right direction now. So pin 30 is hot, which it should be. Pin 87 goes to the starter. So in theory, if I jumper these two, it should crank. Let's just make sure. That's interesting. That's almost like it's got no power. That should crank, folks. I tell you what, let's keep testing here. Pin 85, where are we at here? It's from the pin 85 in the crank position. Digital tram, what? Oh, that's the automatic diagram here. Ding dong. Oops. Let's get the right diagram here, folks. Still the same thing. 30 should be hot. 87 goes to the starter. We got a ground issue on the block or something, I'm wondering. And then pin number 85 should be hot in the crank position. Hey Jay, will you crank this for me? Make sure you push the clutch pedal down. She's a 3-pedal mamma jamma. She got 3 pedals, yes sir.
I don't know how to drive one of these.
It's a millennial anti-theft device. Are you cranking it?
Yeah.
Okay, just a second. So I don't have any start enable coming from the ECM. Let your foot off the clutch. Try to crank it again. Hold it in the crank position and cycle your clutch up and down. Okay, that's good. All right, just a minute. So I'm going to switch our test light here to battery power. Bear with me, folks. Uh-oh. Like zoinks! There's our problem. You can shut her off, Jay. I was just gonna demonstrate to you that I was gonna check the control side of the relay, but we don't have to because we've already figured out what's wrong with it. So let's take this here, for example, like you see my test light's nice and bright. When I touch the alternator case, it's nice and dim. Turn the key back on for me, will you? He's gonna turn the key on, and we're gonna watch this go dim, so this is kind of unusual. Try to start it. Oh, see a flicker in there, folks? Turn your headlights on, Jay. Try to start it again. Okay, let off it. Shut the key off. Okay, that's good. Just leave it like that for me, would you? Hold on, let me get a test or jumper wire. You're good, Jay. You in neutral?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that on video, folks, but not too often you can check a bad block ground with the test light. So right now I'm just hooking the alternator, but you see when I put the test light or the jump wire from the battery to it, you see how it gets a little bit brighter. I don't know if you'll be able to see that on video, but take my word for it, it does. The engine block has a bad ground. That's why you're in neutral. That's why we have this. Okay, so let me show you when I do this and that we jumper the starter, my test light will probably go out. Yep, see that? Bada bing, bada boom, we're done. All right, easy one. Let's move on to the next one. So I'm hoping that made sense to you folks. Oh gosh, I gotta try to give it the one-handed handy now. Hold on, giving you vertigo. Hold on, there we go. Let's stick this back in there. Where's your hole, baby? There she is. There's that. So hopefully that made sense to you folks. We accidentally found the problem, I guess, through the process of testing. Where does that ground wire go? Because I see, let me see what I see here, folks. I see the negative. Why you gotta be so negative? It runs this way and down, it goes down there. I see the harness runs down. Dang it all to heck, we're gonna have to put it on the lift. Uh-oh, folks, you see that shiny new sticker down there? I don't know if you can see it, but that tells me it's got a brand new starter. Why? Because the car doesn't start, so you gotta put a starter on it. And if I remember right, these old Fords, the main ground wire hooks to the starter and or near it. So let's go underneath and have a little look-see. So we do have a brand new starter, and unlike the 4.6s and stuff, the ground wire does not attach down here. I thought they used to attach on like that upper starter bolt. That is not the case. No sir. but they did put a new starter in it. Still doesn't crank. However, I look up. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you. Let me fish a light up in there. I've seen the ground wire. It looks like a real son of a hoo-hoo to get to. Let me just try to stick a light up in there. Leave that resting. I don't know. I probably am not going to be able to show you. How can we see this? Shoot, I can barely see it myself. Anyhow, on one of the, it looks like it perhaps attaches to the back of the cylinder head. It does. There's a ground wire on the back of the cylinder head. Let me see if I can find it in my viewfinder here. Let's see. Where am I? Where am I? Where are you? Unenhanced. I can't find it for you, folks. It is to the right. I'll tell you what, let me move this harness. Here. Oh, baby. Now I'm showing you. Oh, yeah. Enhance. So there it is. It's not focusing. Oh, went past. There it is. There's the ground stud on the back side of the cylinder head. So I'm assuming because it's not a giant green pus sack that perhaps we're going to go old school. We're just going to crack it loose and crack it back tight. And then we're going to see what happens. Unfortunately, with bad grounds, sometimes other things become grounds that you don't want to be a ground. And that can be pretty bad. Oh, we're running out of extension. Let's see if maybe cracking it loose, snugging it up, takes care of it. If it don't, then what we're going to do a proper voltage drop test instead of just using our test light. But frankly, if the block has such a poor ground it can barely light a 750 milliamp load, then I mean that is our voltage drop test. If we do it with DVOM, we're going to see battery voltage essentially on the ground. It's not bad. It's really bad. So I got inside the car, folks, and it doesn't crank. But of course, if you remember, if we back up just a little bit when we were testing the relay, we didn't have any control side, so that was going to be the hot wire coming from the clutch switch to the relay. We were getting it when I was testing that. I had nothing. I was getting ready to test the control side. That's when we found the bad ground. So I think what I want to do is we're going to pull the starter relay back out. We'll stick it back in here. We'll put it back in there. And we'll see if the engine will crank now, because obviously it's not going to crank because we weren't getting any input to the relay. However, when we jumpered it, that's when we saw the voltage drop. So we'll just use the key. The key is on. The key is on, right?
Yes, key's on.
And wheels are off the ground. So if we're wrong, boom! Look at that. Oh, you need the screwdriver in one of these things. In either case, we're still missing our power. It is fed on fuse 21, F21. Which is a 10 amp in the smart junction box. So I believe that is inside the car. We're going to take a look here. We'll see if we can find a picture of that and find out where fuse 21 is. We will start there and test that. So fuse F21, it's in the junction box in there down in the corner. I did see that cover off on the inside. Start a relay circuit, PCM, clutch pedal position switch. If we have power there, what we'll do at that point is go to the clutch pedal switch, because remember on the scan data that was wonky. It's kind of interesting, this car actually has two problems, the ground problem plus no start enable circuit. Well, this isn't a hell of a spot there, fella. Where we got to ground this thing on? Hold on, let me get the door check. Wow! Of course it's awesome because it's on a lift. Door check is nice and painted, so let's go for a seat bracket bolt here. Bolt holds the seat in. Bear with me, folks. You'd think this is amateur hour. You should see me in real life. Okay, so we're on a seat bolt. Let's see if any fuse here has power, just so we can verify. Okay, so we got good ground. And then 21 is way back in here. I can't even see Yeah, baby, there you are. No power. What the hell? Power there. One of these over here is 21. I got nothing. Perhaps it is only... Hold on, folks. Let me back out here. I got to go back to... Whoa, hit the wrong button here. Let me back up to my wiring diagram. That is hot in the start position, so I need a helper. Is Josh out there? No. Can you help me? Yeah. So we need somebody to hold the clutch pedal down. Just hold it in the start. You don't even need to hold the clutch down.
Just hold it start?
Yeah, right in the start position. All right, you're in crank position.
Yep.
And power. Okay, ooh, wow, that's shocking me. Let go of it.
Okay.
Start it again.
Okay.
Boom, boom. So, yep, so we got, okay, let go of it. So we got power on both sides of the fuse, folks. So that's good. It kind of. So let's go to our clutch switch because that's the next place that it goes. All right, folks, we're under here. I have no idea. Can you see where my hand is? So here's the clutch pedal switch. I got us a T-pin. We're gonna tap it from the back side. Classic move. Okay, I'm in. Let's see. Let's see if I can do this. We're gonna touch this side of it. We're gonna put it in the crank position. Nothing there either. I got a crappy connection. Hey, Gavin. Evan's here. I'm gonna need somebody to crank this car over. Can you get in on the other side, bro? Okay. I'm trying to, should take the damn car off the lift at this point. All right, are you in the car, buddy?
Yep.
Do you know how to crank a car over?
Yeah.
You do?
Don't you like cranking?
You know what? Screw this. We're unplugging it. Try to crank it, fella. Okay, you're cranking it. Let go of it. So we got power there. Let's see. Technically, when I push the clutch switch in, we should have power on this side, our first side that we tested. So we're gonna re-probe. Is somebody in here?
Yeah.
You're in here now? Mm-hmm. Now we got the lovely Mrs. O joining us.
Mm-hmm. You ready?
No. Try to crank it. Mm-hmm. Son of a hooski. It's not even pushing the damn switch in. Well, there you go, fella. Okay, you try to crank it, Mrs. O. All right, yeehaw. Shut it off, young lady. Well, there's your problem, fella. Go ahead and turn the key on so it quits dinging. This is super uncomfortable.
Oh, the key's out.
The key's out? What'd you do? Oh. Okay, you just have to wiggle the hole once in a while. So, you see this, ladies and gentlemen? When I push this clutch down, it doesn't even push the clutch button in. So what's that tell me? That tells me I'm missing. Is there supposed to be a rubber donger on this thing that pushes the clutch pedal? Or do we just have a bad switch? I don't know, I'm not a friggin' Mustang mechanic. I'm looking on the floor. Let's have a little gander on the floor. Hold on here, folks. Do I see... I don't see any kind of rubber thing that's supposed to be on it. I just wondered, you know, like the Nissans, I think we did a video on a Nissan with a clutch switch problem. How did this car have a bad ground and also a bad clutch pedal position switch? And why does my scan tool change status even though it's not depressing the switch? What that tells me is that we have two clutch pedal switches. We have a, there's got to be a switch up higher. I'm going to have a look because this doesn't even make sense. So right up there on top of the clutch pedal, folks, there is our switch that feeds the ECM for depression or not depressed, okay? That's this one up here. No rubber donger on that one. So I can only assume that there is no rubber donger on this one here and that our switch is just faulty. Sorry, it's very stuffy in here, folks. interesting because, oh yeah, I guess it does depress it. Sorry if you can't see. But yeah, just the clutch switch is faulty. We need to get a new clutch switch. I think, how does that pop out? Probably something like this. Push the tab in, flick it forward, there we go. So there she is. That's all we need, just a clutch switch and a bad ground. Awesome. So if we pull, so I got the clutch switch out, so now if we push it and turn the key, where's the key, Bubby? Oops, son of a hoo-hoo. Got it, all right. In the slot we go. All right. Okay, we're good to go. That go this way? Yep, that went that way, so that's back together. I guess we can call the shop now, tell them what's wrong with it. They can come and get it and fix it, and we're done. Sometimes I think people are screwing with me because how could we have two different problems? I'm not buying it, folks. There's no way, if I'm being told the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, that the problem with this car is what it is. There's no way the clutch switch is bad, plus the freaking block ground is bad. Yeah, the block ground goes bad, yeah, you're gonna be hoofing it. I think somebody reached down there with their big thumb and pushed on this clutch switch, and I believe it is an auto-adjusting switch because, frankly, we can push it in with our finger and it works. And so I popped it apart, some jiggly bits fell out of it, and I believe that down in here, don't mind my nasty finger, we're gonna flick these little retaining springs open and we're gonna set it out. She's a one-time use deal. Let me give it the old spreadaroo. I'm thinking. Let me see here if I can make this function. Come on, baby. Is that, do you gotta take the whole door panel off that thing?
You
Or?
can sneak them in there, I think, without
Oh, okay.
without taking the whole panel off. You found the right color.
Come on, sucker. There we go. She is an auto adjuster. You push that in too far, folks, guess what? You're either buying a new switch or you're tearing the whole dang thing apart. Let me make sure it's all the way out. And then somebody was meddling in something they ought not be meddling in. Just like that. Let me, of course, you know, if we totally botch it, we can get one of these for the morning. Okay, so our little spring wings are back up. Our shaft is fully erect. Now we got to figure out how it goes back together. So we're gonna slip this baby back in. Which way does that go? We're going to say it goes this way. Click that back on. We're going to stick our contact piece back on. We're going to get it back under the other contacts that are there. Slide that back in. I wasn't buying it. The story wasn't lining up. And sometimes when stuff comes from other shops, you don't get the whole story. Even though they're a shop and they know what it's like to not get the whole story. Great. Here I am getting all pissy and I dropped something. Where is it? Hold on. Then we get the spring. Stick that back in there. Stick this back in here. And that explains, folks, now when we go in there and we push the clutch in, that's going to self-adjust. It's going to ratchet down on these teeth and it's going to set its position. So let's go stick this in the car and see if we can, you know, call it fixed and save them from buying a, you know, $30 aftermarket BWD switch that'll be broke when it gets here or broken a week. BWD, broke when delivered. Let's see, hopefully I've got you guys in a good viewing position. Now, first thing first, let's make sure we didn't break it anymore. I'm just gonna plug it in here on the plugger. And then let me find the key. Where are you, little key? Yeah, I had to take it apart, get the auto adjuster back up. Okay, hold it in the crank position. Okay, so that still works. Okay, so now let's stick it in the hole. Where are you? Oh, you're sexy. Push it in. Push down, push it back. There it is. It's clicked in. So now, technically, in theory, where are you? when we push this clutch pedal down, it's going to push this gray down here that you can't see. And it's going to auto adjust. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. It auto adjusted. So now you heard it ratchet and click in. Get the key back in the hole. Key on. Just like that, fella. That's why. The mystery is solved. Like the Zoinks Hades Scoob, it's not a bad clutch switch. No. There we go. So that's that, folks. That answers the question as to why do we have two problems. One problem was real, the bad ground. The second problem was brought about by these things. Somebody's finger in there saying, hey, I wonder if the clutch switch is bad. They push on it, they push it too hard, and away it goes. So, and the way I go, and the way you go down in there to that comment box, yes, the ground should be taken off and done proper like, but now they have direction and I can tell them what to do. So I'm going to tell you what to do. Go down to that comment box, questions, comments, criticism, concern, way down there, subscribe, ring the bell, and just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.